Warriors! You cannot stop me. It's impossible. So, I may be a little under the weather, as they call it. Something's happening within my physical experience that's making my body feel a certain way, but nothing's happened to my spirit. Nothing's happened to my soul. I'm divinely protected. I am Coach JV, the top health and mindset coach in the world. Something's happened in my physical body, but within my mind, I am healed and I'm divinely protected. And this physical body thing should be a temporary setback for a comeback. So, first thing I want to share with you is when you're feeling out of sorts, do not identify with being sick. Don't ask for sympathy. Ask to God to divinely protect you. Like I said, Coach JV, top health and mindset coach in the world. What I do is I help warriors open up their mind and their awareness to new possibilities for them as a human being. We're in unprecedented times right now. Our world is shifting to the fourth industrial revolution, the new quantum financial system, and 99.9% of people are asleep. And we have a small percentage of people who are waking up to the reality that they could be the biggest shift in generational wealth in history. That you don't have to follow the narrative that's going this way, that you can create your own narrative that's this way, and God gave you the mind and ability to think exactly how you want and to create your own paradigm. That's why two people can be sitting at the same light, see a tragic accident right in front of them. The person in the right car, their whole life changes. PTSD. So they start drinking. They stop performing at work. Their relationship gets destroyed. They get divorced. They have bad relationships with their kids. Their whole life falls apart. And the person on the left actually sees a completely different reality. They see that life is very, very short. They pray for the person's family who died tragically. And within their paradigm, they reach out to their family members and they start living their best life using that person's death as a positive thing to understand that life is short. So two people saw the exact same thing and had a completely different physical reality. That's the power of the mind. So today we're going to break down what's happening. Now, there is something happening this way, a pandemic, as everything's shifting this way. And if you want to join my private exclusive Warrior Academy, where we teach our warriors specifically of what I'm doing to manage a new quantum financial system, not a financial advisor, none of it's financial advice. I show my exact portfolio. We work out with you live daily. We train your mind, your body, and we help you open up your soul and awareness to connection to your higher self. We don't care what religion you are. We don't care where you came from, what background you came from. We love everybody. And we're just asking you to get connected to your higher self as we transition into this new world. Because if you don't, you're not going to be ready. It's about protecting your mind, your body, and your immunity, and your generational wealth. So you can click the link down below. You can join right away. So we're going to dive right into this. Now, one of my favorite people on the internet is Robert Kiyosaki. If you have not read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you have to go read the book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this video from Robert Kiyosaki. And then from there, I'm going to show you what the shadow banking system actually is. There is actually a shadow banking system, and it collapsed in September 2019. Interesting enough, the shadow banking system collapsed in September 2019. And we woke up in January 2020 to a pandemic that came from China, who's going to be the new superpower within the next 10 years. Okay? Then all of a sudden, it wreaks havoc on the United States and all their countries. And globally, we're going through the worst pandemic that we've ever experienced and the worst economic crash. The GDP in America is now at 130%. That's gross domestic product to credit. So if America walked into a car dealership, we would be declined for the car. China is at 56% GDP to debt. They are actually in a very good position. China is going to be the new superpower. The US dollar is deflating dramatically. We're a debt-based society, and they keep printing money like they got one of those miniguns. Shh. You're going to get another stimulus check, and you're going to celebrate that, and it's not a good thing, warriors. But what you have to know is that you can make small, incremental moves right now to completely change your future. There's going to be food insecurity. About 8.8 million people are going to use their jobs. The retail industry is going to get wiped out. Malls, mom and pop businesses. What's going to be left standing is Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, the big companies. Amazon's going to be delivering your medication by a drone, and your life is going to change right before your eyes. And we're going to get you ready for it. So let's watch the video. I will narrate this as we go along. Stay all the way through, warriors, and at the end, make sure you comment Warriors Rise. Let's go.
Before the end of this decade, a new technology will emerge and the future will be shown to us. I've already been warned many times to stay in my lane. Don't go into this stay teaching people with my little cash flow game. I'm talking about stay small or we'll stomp on you. I won't talk about conspiracy, but something's fishy about this corona crisis. There's something very fishy. Why did they have to shut down the whole damn world? And I think it's because they're covering up something very, very big. And in September 2019, the shadow banking system collapsed. And that's why the Fed and the Treasury are printing tens of trillions of dollars all over the world. So when Corona appeared, I think it was an excuse to shut down the world economy to cover up what really happened. What is going on in the world right now has never happened in the history of the world. I mean, how can you shut down the whole world economy? So in March of 2020 was the biggest crash in world history of the stock market, but nobody knows anything about it because everybody's quarantined at home thinking about coronavirus and social distancing and wearing face masks. So people are missing out on one of the biggest catastrophic cash heists in the history of the world. They don't even know what's happening. And then to have it come through via a virus, or what Nassim Taleb calls a black swan, even more dastardly, and then to shut down the whole world's economy and put millions of people out of work and destroy, small business owners, the lifeblood of the world, to save the rich, the really, really rich, is, I think, criminal. And yesterday I was drinking my JCB wine, celebrating with Kim. We made it. We're financially free, but more than everything else, we're prepared with a business that teaches financial education to the masses. You see, education is rigged, as you know. It's only if you have money. You know that. I know that. So if you live in a rich neighborhood, your schools get more money because the real estate pays for it. But you live in a poor neighborhood, you get the poorest education because the real estate taxes aren't high. So everything's about money, but for some reason, we don't teach money at school. But apparently, somebody gave you something to get yourself out of this. And what the millennials have that I didn't have was an iPhone. The iPhone is the single most powerful. I cannot believe how much power that thing has. Holy mackerel. All you have to do is sync your brain to that iPhone. You have more power than you and I ever had when we were their age. Do you know what I mean? The trouble is, if they haven't gone to school and they have a teacher that is incompetent, and we've all had incompetent teachers, their brain and the iPhone are not synced in to making money. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't make money with your iPhone, there's something wrong in your brain, not the iPhone's brain. And that's what I tell young people. So you and I are the news. What we're doing right now is the news. And COVID bacteria and the crash of the economy is the old news. It's the death. And that's the first words Fuller said to my class in 1981. There was 100 of us. I was about 35 at the time. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, we are the news. What's in the newspaper is old. And what was in the newspaper at the time was Reagan and Star Wars and Russia and nuclear power and all that stuff. He says, that's the death of it all. And he said, before the end of this decade, which was 1980, a new technology will emerge and the future will be shown to us. And in 89, the World Wide Web came up. So exactly as he predicted. So all you young millennials out there and young people, you have the most powerful tool ever created in humanity. The question is, how are you going to use it? You can use that iPhone the way we're doing it right now to educate, to inspire, to teach. Or you can watch porno on it. It's up to you.
So I'm going to stop right there, Warriors. That's what I've been teaching my Warriors for over a year now, is you have to think differently, Warriors. You have to think differently. What's happening is you're being distracted this way, and the news of today is not what's happening, Warriors. You are shifting to the new quantum financial system. The way you do your banking is going to be completely different. Everything you do is going to be off of your phone. The way you interact with human beings, the way that you date, the way that you communicate with your family, the separation, the way that you do your job. Your corporation right now, as you sit there, is planning 5 years ahead. They are thinking whether it's worth having you or not. They are now figuring out whether it's worth having you at the actual facility or not. There's big changes. There's technology ushering in through the Green Deal that is going to take over your job. You're going to be working symbiotically with the computer, with AI. That's a fact, warriors. So should you be managing to the news today, the pandemic, or should you be looking futuristically at things you can invest in to completely change your family's life? As of today, Airbnb goes public when the stock market opens. I'm already bought in to shares, ready to go. So we're thinking futuristically, warriors. Well, let's talk about the shadow banking system. What is the shadow banking system? So you have commercial banking. You have your commercial banks like Bank of America. You got your Wells Fargo. You got the big banks. You have investment banking, and then you have the shadow banking system examples. Merrill Lynch, Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, GE Capital, big, massive companies, Citi, GMAC, GSE. Now, these are the companies that rule the world, and these are owned and controlled by the elites. Now, let me share with you guys who else is making big moves. The World Economic Forum. Now, as Kev did his research, the World Economic Forum was created in 1971. Guess when? We detached from the gold standard. In 1971. In January 1971, World Economic Forum was created. Ironically, we detached from the gold standard in August 1971, which gave the ability to the government to start printing money like a printing machine. We went into a desk-based society. This was all been planned out by the New World Order since this has been planned out for a long time, since 1930 with the Federal Reserve warriors. This has happened in history over and over and over again. Now, this is the World Economic Forum. Now, let's look again. Who is the shadow banking system? The shadow banking system is who funds all this, who keeps the central banks going, who keeps the commercial banks going, okay? Now, let's look at the World Economic Forum here, okay? So right here, if you take a look, so this is Dr. Shibu, I can't even pronounce her name, is leading the charge for GE, let's go back, GE Capital, is leading the charge for GE's ambitious emerging markets investment portfolio. She heads the U.S. advisory execution for the GE Capital's Global Capital Advisory Team based in Washington, D.C. In this role, Suba leads the structuring, execution, relationship management for U.S.-based export credit agencies, development and finance institutions, and other financial institutions. Prior to GE, Suba was the managing director of the Africa and Overseas Private Investments Corporation. She opened OPEX, the first overseas office in Africa. I can't even pronounce that. She was responsible for coordinating business development across insurance projects, corporate finance, and private equity investments. Suba also worked in the various leadership roles in African development banks, where she was also responsible for originating, structuring, and executing private equities and project finances, transactions, and infrastructure, energy, and oil gas sectors. She has co-authored Understanding the Power Project Finance, Understanding the Power Project Procurement, and Committee of the 10 Policy Brief, Finance of Sustainable Energy Solutions, and contributed to the World Economic Forum publication, Paving the Way, listen to this, maximizing the value of a private finance in the infrastructure, along other publications. So she's connected to the World Economic Forum, warriors. Now, I just want to start to get you to think a little bit critically and go a little bit deeper. So this is in Forbes magazine. So this is important. Are we ready to embrace a new world order? So think about this. Think about this. Automation has been accelerated due to the pandemic. Was it planned? Flexitarian diet. If you watched my YouTube video yesterday, they're accelerating their flexitarian diet plan. I showed you the movie Game Changers, or the documentary Game Changers. Ironic that there's hundreds of vegan documentaries, and it's ironic that a documentary that's produced by James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jackie Chan exploded onto the scene and got tons of press. I'm vegan, so just full disclosure. But why? Was that part of the World Economic Forum in their new Green Deal agenda to move us to a flexitarian diet, to kill the meat and dairy industry? Okay. WFH accelerated. Social distancing accelerated. Tech dominance accelerated. Urban migration, whoops, I don't know what they mean by that. E-commerce accelerated. High ed implosion accelerated. High education implosion accelerated. What does that mean? If I'm interpreting that correctly, the Yales, the Harvards, the funding, as soon as government got involved in funding education, that's when it became very, very expensive. Think about this. Anything that's subsidized by your government becomes more expensive. Insurance is subsidized by the government. They charge you like crazy. Education is subsidized by the government. They charge you like crazy. So warriors, it's time to wake up your awareness and possibilities for you as a human being. You don't have to follow the narrative, warriors. I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. I'm okay with you commenting down below and challenging what I say. What I'm here to do is to help waken up your mind, open up your mind and awareness to the possibilities for you as a human being. That you don't have to follow the narrative, that what you were taught in school was not correct. It was not designed to keep, especially if you're in the Western society, it was not designed for you to prosper. It was not designed for you to be abundant. It was designed to keep you held down, to keep you in line, to not raise your hand, to not think outside the box, to not create your own paradigm and have an abundant future for you and your family. You were taught to go to school, get health insurance, get a 401k that's about to get crushed, to work your ass off, to retire, to have to work at Walmart to pay for your medication. It's time to stop playing the game, warriors, that they're doing. When you know the game, you can't be played. So we're here to help you, warriors. We created a warrior program, a monthly warrior program, that we teach you money, subconscious mind programming, understanding economics so you know the game. What is cryptocurrency? I'm highly invested in cryptocurrency. I show my own portfolio. For example, we have a cryptocurrency call today at Thursday for our Private Warrior Academy, where I go over my portfolio. We talk about new coins. Example, Airbnb going public today. We talked about that. People already invested, ready to wake up when the market opens. So these are things that we talk about. I'm not a financial advisor. None of it's financial advice, but we protect our warriors. We help them understand that they can become the uncommon 1%. The biggest shift in generational wealth is happening right now, warriors, and we want you to be part of it. So if you're ready to be part of it, click down below. You can join our free Facebook group. We go live every single day. You can also join for 90% off our Warrior Academy. And you know what we always say? Warriors, rise. Let's do it together. Let's go.